Welcome to the High Adventure Scouting Podcast. This is the source for all things high adventure for scouts, scouters, and anyone else interested in promoting high adventure trips for our youth. You can find all kinds of great high adventure options for your scouts at highadventurescouting.com. We are constantly updating the list of cool trips, and we want your input on your best trip. Welcome, high adventure enthusiasts. We're excited, as always, to highlight a high adventure base on this edition of the High Adventure Scouting Podcast. Today, we're joined by a representative from Swamp Base. Gabe Griffords, Program Director for the Louisiana Swamp Base, is with us today. Now, Swamp Base is located deep in the swamps of Louisiana and is operated by the Evangeline Area Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Now, Gabe, thanks for joining us today on the High Adventure Scouting Podcast.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, last year around this time, we spoke with Ben Pierce, Director of Swamp Base, and we did a kind of an overview of your high adventure base and the program and so on. So if anybody wants to listen to that episode, just go back in the archives, December of last year, and take a listen. Now, this time around, I want to get into update of what's coming for happening in 2021, and I know the 2022 registration is upon us here. So I guess start out, how did 2020 go for you guys?
Well, we successfully operated just as you'd expect. We had a slower year, but we had troops from a couple dozen states come through, and maybe not quite a couple dozen, but everyone completed the program. We had an awesome staff. We're always looking for good hires. I don't know if anyone out there is looking for a summer job, but we got opportunities. We didn't have anything big to report from this year, but going forward, we've got a bunch of new things in the works. I only started in this program director capacity back in March, and after running you got
thrown into it, man.
Yes,
Holy cow.
Yes, into the fire. But after seeing the program from not administrative but director standpoint, we have a lot of new ideas, new programs to implement for 2021. I learned a lot, and Ben and I have been in the works on a couple of very exciting updates to our trail. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's just jump into that. We don't want to.
All
We
right.
want to get rid of 2020 or 2020 as quickly as possible. We're almost there.
Right.
And tell me what's coming up this year, and then we can talk about kind of things coming up in 2022 and registration coming on here.
Yeah, of course. So in 2021, we are looking at unveiling a new overnight location. So in the past, we've done houseboats. We've done a primitive night on what we call Rougarou Island, named after the Cajun werewolf, the Rougarou. And then we have our island outpost, which in the past has been a 2-night stay. So you'll paddle there on day 3 of the trail, stay there for day 4, and do a fishing program out there before coming back in on the 5th day of the trek. For 2021, though, we are announcing a pair of floating campsites that are going to be out on the first night. We're switching a couple of program elements around to accommodate for that. So we're going to have tents provided, but this is going to be the night that participants are going to need a sleeping bag and pillow and, roughing it, but also feel the breeze overnight, listen to the lapping of the water, no generators, no nothing. It's going to be a very tranquil experience, I hope. We're planning to build those in the next couple of months here at the beginning of the year. But yeah, they will be ready for 2021.
Okay, that was my question. That was going to be ready for this next season. So
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah, that is the our full intention is to have them operational by
Awesome.
then. But yeah, to accommodate for that, we had to change around our timing, of course. So if you look online, we've already updated our leader's guide to reflect these changes. Um, in the past, like I said, we've done a rest day on day 4, but instead of doing that, we cut day 1 down a few miles because instead of going 19.3 miles on day 1 to the houseboats, we're only going to do about, I think it's 16. It's in the leader's guide. I don't
Only
have the
16.
only 16. But those 3 extra miles we can move from elsewhere or move towards something else. Um, and then let's see some other changes based on that. Oh, the next day, day 2, will be a relatively short, well, a very short day, at least in my experience with the program. Um, we're going to be doing 7 miles, and it's going to be in 2 sections. So, first thing in the morning, you're going to wake up, pack up the campsite, and paddle. I want to say it's about 4 miles, maybe 5 miles to McGee's Swamp Tours, which is an affiliated tour company that we work very closely with. And they are also going to have houseboats for us still. We're building brand new houseboats. In years past, we've rented them from a fellow levee side business, but now we're going to be able to operate our own. Those are building. I'm not sure if they'll be 2021. I think they'll be ready for 2021. But yeah, so we've got the new campsites, we've got a new trail, we've got new houseboats, and then we've made a couple of other alterations in the trail for anyone who was familiar with it before, but there's no longer a rest day. All of our favorite foods are still here. Our Cajun culture, Creole entrees are here to stay still. So we still serve the etouffee, the jambalaya, the gumbo, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, for the big program elements, that's the big announcement. We have those new overnight accommodations.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're very
I just
excited.
I can't imagine having a rest day. I'm not sure I've ever had a rest day on a scout trip. So
Right, we're high adventure most of the time.
yeah,
Other
that's
times
all
we
right.
get spike ball, we get cornhole, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Um,
yeah.
is are there any things you guys have cooked up for 2022 in addition to the changes in the new campsites, new trails, houseboats, that kind of stuff?
Not yet. We're gonna see how these first this first round of changes, um, impacts our program in 2021, and then of course learn from those and um, add or change in whatever direction we need to. Um, yeah, we don't have anything big that I can think of.
Well, that seems pretty big, changing
Yeah, I
changing
mean
the
that's
route of the
that's
program.
2021 though, but 2022
Yes.
I'm not totally sure yet. We'll see where
Yeah.
we get in 2021.
Well, you can come back next time, and we'll discuss kind of the
Right.
things coming up for
Oh,
the
you know what
next
is
year.
coming up 2022? That is going to be our 10th year operating
Oh,
Trex.
that's right. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Oh, so you were prompting me for that one.
No, I should have
You
been. I
knew
should
better
have
than
been.
I. No,
I
yeah, that
forgot.
that totally slipped my mind. But we're gonna have a limited edition 10-year patch. So anyone who comes in 2022 will get that. I don't know if that design is public knowledge. It's the same base design, but it's got a couple of twerks, twink, yeah. Um,
I saw
alterations.
something on
Yeah,
it might have been on social media about something coming
tweaks.
up 10-year, but I don't remember seeing a patch. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But
Right.
well, let me ask you: do you, we've got the season coming up. We're we're gonna. This is coming out right before your registration is starting for 2022.
Right. Thursday,
Looking
December 3rd.
at this year, this next year, do you guys have any availability in any of the weeks?
Yes, we do have a few left, but we get calls a couple times a week. So uh, if we do have any left by the time this airs, no, we should have a few spots, but they have been filling in slowly but surely. Um, but for anyone interested, the number to call is 337-235-8552. And that is available online on our Facebook page and on our website, bsaswampbase.org.
Oh yeah, I make
Yeah,
sure and throw that out there
awesome.
anytime we talk about it. So,
Yeah. Would
um,
you like me to look at specific dates here?
no, we'll just
No?
we'll leave that up to the
Mhm.
listener, and if they're
Awesome.
curious, they can give you guys a call and
Wonderful.
see what's still available. So,
Great.
we all know the major high adventure bases around the country, and they offer some awesome programs. Have you been searching for a cool alternative from your typical high adventure trip? As a scout leader, I want to give our scouts some great alternatives. You need to check out highadventurescouting.com. You'll find information on over 30 different council high adventure bases in 24 states. Maybe you're looking for a do it yourself option and need some ideas. Maybe you've taken a great trip and you want to share your good fortune with your fellow scouts and scouters. Just send us the details and we'll publish your trip. Whatever your interest, highadventurescouting.com is the one-stop shop for all things high adventure. That's highadventurescouting.com. Um, now
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to this past summer. And before we started recording, we kind of talked, and I really indicated that there were only a couple high adventure bases that were open this summer because of a lot of places were closed because of the pandemic, and scouting really suffered all over the country, and it still is.
Right.
And it's just a tough time. So I was impressed that yourself and a couple others were able to figure that out. As Ben indicated to me in an email, he said, "Hey, we're socially distant anyway,
Right. Yeah.
out of the swamp, and we have small groups, so it tended to work." So, is that a good overview of kind of where you guys were at this past summer?
Yeah, basically, most of our operations are, paddling, right? So our canoes, you, the person in the front of the boat and the person in the back of the boat are separated by, I think it's like 7 foot 3/4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you want to stick really strictly to the 6 foot guidelines, um, I guess the biggest change that we had wasn't in like within a single group who came together. It was usually we have two crews go out per day. Sometimes you'll have a double crew from the same council. So like a lot of Texas crews will come
Yeah.
with 22 people, just because there's a lot of scouting in that area. But you also have single crews from um, like Kansas. I had a single crew from Kansas. Um, but then some days pre 2020, we would have a group from California and a group from Texas that would leave on the same day, stay on the overnight locations the same nights, and practically become friends. Um, at least in my experience. But this past year, we only had to shift around. I think there were 6 days like that, and luckily they had some availability on either side that one of those groups could switch to. So they still got to go. They just delayed or uh, moved their trip up a day to accommodate for, not being in such close proximity to other crews. So that's one of the ways that we tried to mitigate contact risk. But yeah, like Ben said, there's really a lot of distance out there that you can make, and our group sizes are 8 to 11 plus. We have a trek guide who goes with every group, and our locations are all staffed by 1 to 3 people. So at any time, you're not in contact with more than a dozen or so who didn't come with your group.
Right. Well, hopefully by the time we get to this summer, all of this will be a thing of the past, and we won't have to worry about these things. Yes, exactly. So, and I know there's a lot of pent up, high adventure opportunities in troops all across the country. And,
oh yeah, everyone's looking for something to do.
Exactly. My troop's no different. I think we've camped 3 times in the last year, and we just haven't been able to in our area. So we're anxious to get out. So anything else we haven't talked about, Gabe?
Let me check. I mean, of course, we always do weekend trips if anyone's close by and wants to call us about some altered version of our trail, do like a 3-day paddle with throw in an airboat tour, throw in 1 night on the houseboats and 1 just camping on the levee. We do have a lot of opportunities for that year round, so that is one thing we like to plug. But awesome. No, there's not another thing I can think of to
awesome.
make our big announcements.
I think you've thrown enough at us, so that's great. So, well, Gabe, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for letting us spread the word, and we hope to see y'all in the swamp.
As always, that's what this podcast is for. Okay. Now, I want to thank Gabe Griffords, Program Director for the Louisiana Swamp Base, for joining us today. You can get more information on their programs at bsaswampbase.org. That's bsaswampbase.org. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to tell your friends about this podcast. You can find us online at highadventurescouting.com, on Facebook or Instagram. If you have any questions or ideas for future podcasts, just email us at info@highadventurescouting.com. This podcast and website are independent and not affiliated with any youth organization. Happy High Adventure! This has been a production of High Adventure Resources.